What skills did you show? For a receptionist, that was good for a recruiter.
I don't know, but they saw something. And I think maybe that's why when something is meant for you, it will happen. So I was like, I don't have any experience in HR. And they were like, no worries, we will teach you everything.
Not sure if you're valuing the HR position or not. So it was a good thing, the merger.
It was a good thing, but at the same time was the fear of new things and what is going to happen. But after the merge happened, they let go of everyone from the leadership. We came with everything new and we were like, can we trust this new leadership? What is going to happen? Are they going to leave us as well?
What advice would you give to leaders that may be listening, from HR or not, that need some support their teams through transitions like this?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is be human first and be there, be present,
Sometimes people, even during these hard times, they are afraid of stepping forward and raising their hand saying, I need mental support. When you are identifying redundancies, the ones that look weak may be the first to go. How can HR help assess the mental health climate during a merger? Do people still trust in HR?
Yes, thanks to God, yes.
What also happens to employee identity when the company is the one being absorbed by this bigger one?
This is a hard one,
How can any individual protect their own mental health during a merger?
I think it's focused on what you can control, You cannot motivate or you cannot be okay for others if you're not okay for yourself. And don't feel guilty of prioritizing well-being, because sometimes we feel guilty.
This new company is really prone to mental health. How do you know that would not be seen as a weakness?
Well, you don't know. Problem is big. And if you don't care about mental health or well-being, it's going to affect, in the end, the company.
What are the most common emotional or psychological effects of layoffs on employees? The ones that go, the ones that stay?
I've seen both worst and best attempts of layoff.
What's the worst? Tell us the worst.
If you need any help on that side, we will help you with whatever we can.
Sounds very, very human.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the secret. Just be human and share with them the pain and the emotion that they have.
What would you say if the person then asks you on a call like that, okay, we are 1,000 people, why me? What is the human way to answer that question? What mistakes do you see leaders or HR people make during or handling layoffs?
Leaders just disappeared, Rafael. After a layoff, they just leave the managers to do the work.
So the conversation like this is, thank you for your contribution, but for this and that reason, we are letting you go, right? So what kind of things people say after hearing this?
A good scenario would be, thank you for everything. I'm really sorry to hear this. Like, the worst one is...
In 10 people, how many people fight back in a conversation like that?
3.
3 in 10? Quick.
3 from 10, yeah.
My personal experience is around 1 in 10. The majority of situations like this, people just accept. Well, sometimes managers think that the HR is the one that is going to manage everything on a call.
Well, that's why you set the expectations before.
Managers are the ones that need to be telling the reason why a person is being laid off. Hello, Kati. How are you doing today?
Hi, Ricardo. I'm really good. Thank you. It's a sunny day in Romania.
Oh, here too in Portugal. I guess you can see that from the window as well. It's not only sunny, but it's very hot today. And usually hot even for Portugal.
Nice to hear that.
It's not a problem for me to have this conversation with you, because I really was expecting to have a chance not only to get to know you, but also to understand and learn from the topics that I believe that we will be able to cover today. But just for bringing some context, Kati, so you are an HR professional with 10 years of experience in environments like tech, Saas. Although you started your academic path not in psychology or HR management, but you decided to study economics, and then later on you did a shift to HR. So there should be also an interesting story there for us to explore. And from a professional perspective, so you were one of the first people working in a company called Instapage, which was when you joined a startup environment that grew, scaled, and then later on, it was acquired by another company called AirSlate, more corporate kind of company, which from that merge, there were some challenges and before and after the merge, also layoff challenges, which is a topic that it's not easy to cover. So yeah, I would like to get to know you and hear your story. Was this a good summary for? Did I miss anything, Kati?
No, it was perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let me just thank you for having me, first of all. I'm really excited to be here. And I want to share a bit more about the culture. As I said, I love to speak about the people, the growth, and hopefully I can share some useful stories and maybe a laugh or two along the way. But yes, hi everyone. I'm Kati Ciocan. First of all, as you mentioned, I have more than 10 years of experience in HR. Well, I think for me, it just kind of happened, when like you go in a coffee and accidentally you order a triple shot espresso. This is what happened with me. I started over like 10 years ago. During the interview, I wanted to go in London, actually to work in hospitality as a receptionist. And during the interview, they just stopped and they were like, Kati, do you want to work actually on the recruitment? Because we need a person. And I think you would be just perfect.
Why? What did they see you? What skills did you show for a receptionist that was good for a recruiter?
I don't know, but they saw something. And I think maybe that's why when something is meant for you, it will happen. So I was like, I don't have any experience in HR. And they were like, no worries, we will teach you everything. I was like, okay, let's do this.
Not sure if you're valuing the HR position or not.
Yeah, I loved it. So it just happened. I worked there for almost 2.5 years, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the story with Instapage is quite funny. So I need to tell it a bit. So I just moved in Bucharest. Bucharest is the capital. Instapage was just created a few months ago in Romania, in Timișoara. And then the site director, let's say, he was coming to Bucharest for a visa. And he just asked me, Kati, can we just stay at your place just to leave the bags and to go to the visa and get the visa to the embassy? And I was, yeah, sure. And they came back. They were really happy because they got the visa to go and visit the headquarters that was in San Francisco for Instapage. And Marius told me, Kati, we have a free position. It's like the HR office manager, let's say. And I think you would be just perfect. And I was like, I'm not interested. I just moved to Bucharest. I don't want to go back to Timișoara. And he was just like, let's stay for a coffee. Let me tell you more about the company, about us. What are we doing? What are your opportunities? I was like, okay, let's do it. But I guess his energy, the way he spoke about the company, he believed in Instapage, And when a person believes, he can manifest a lot of things and motivate you in a lot of ways.
You also did that, right? You also shown your energy and your motivation, and for sure that also helped to raise his awareness for your profile. So it was both.
Yes, definitely. It's an exchange of energy all the time. I guess that's important, and to match the energy in the end. And I just like, give me 2 days. I will think about it.
Okay.
And I moved back to Timișoara.
How many years you worked there?
At Instapage, 8 years.
8 years. Okay. So when did the mergers started? After how many years?
Well, the merge was after 6 years.
6 years. Okay.
Yes. So I started it was a small startup, but like a Silicon Valley one with mansion, a great swimming pool there in the house, flexible hours with 16 people. And I actually grew then to 65. And then during of course, the years, we just grew and more challenges, more new, stories to share, more experiences. And we were working like we had a multicultural, let's say, environment because I was in Romania. We had another headquarter in Poland and then in San Francisco.
When the company merged with AirSlate, how many people were in Instapage?
I think 50.
So what kind of psychological impacts did you saw on the merger? And I'm assuming you only saw the Instapage side, or you were able to see also the other side, the AirSlate side.
So first, it was only Instapage side, of course. And people usually think it's about paperwork and new logos and this kind of things, but it's not only that. It's emotional. It's a roller coaster. And the bigger hits, I guess, are anxiety from the unknown. instability of role shifts, what is going to happen with us, if leadership is there for us or they go silent. And for us, it was a unique experience. It was a bit shifted, let's say, because we hoped for the acquisition to happen. As a lifeline for us, it was. Because otherwise, I don't know if Instapage would still be alive today.
So it was a good thing, the merger.
It was a good thing, but at the same time was the fear of new things and what is going to happen.
Can you share an example for how you've seen this merger negatively impact on mental health, for example?
We were lucky in a way because before the merge, our CEO from United States came from America to Romania to explain that it's going to happen. So it calmed down a bit, everything. But after the merge happened, they let go of everyone from the leadership, from our leadership. And we came with everything new and we were like, can we trust this new leadership? What is going to happen? Are they going to leave us as well? There were a lot of questions that we didn't know how to answer them. And this brought a lot of stress and anxiety. We were happy in a way that it happened, but we were afraid of what is going to happen afterwards.
Specifically in this reality that you were living, when the merger was announced also people being fired or not?
No. Everyone stayed. They said that if they're going to acquire us, they're going to acquire us with everyone, with all the people that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some layoffs, but only after 1 year.
So it was a reality that was started to being built after.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you created the initial expectation, you and your team, you created the initial expectations about the merge, and then things started to shift.
I think it's really important, the leadership, as I mentioned, they set the emotional tone. When leaders are visible, as I mentioned, that the CEO came from United States to Romania to announce and to try to calm down or answer every question that they had, this made a difference when the merge happened.
But then the new leadership didn't behave the same way.
The new leadership, they came after the acquisition in Romania. They stayed 1 day, they presented themselves, but that was all. After that, it was silence. And I think it's important not to have only one meeting, but it's important to be consistent. And even if you don't have any, let's say, new communication, but at least say, hey, we're working on how it's going to merge with the benefits or with the policies or with the tools or what is going to happen with you moving forward, So they had this lack, let's say. After they came to Romania to say hello and to meet each other, they just disappeared a while.
What advice would you give to leaders that may be listening, from HR or not, that need to support their teams through transitions like this?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is be human first and be there, be present, Check in regularly, listen more than you talk, and accept that emotions are real and complex. And I think consistency is the key. People need to know that you're there. And even if you don't have any answer, just say, hey, we're still working out on this, or we're still working on this. We're going to give you an answer shortly. Yeah.
I agree with you. Consistency is important to reassure people if the message is positive, right? To reassure consistently everything is being taken care of, etc. But sometimes these mergers, people don't see that far ahead, right? So today the idea may be one, we keep everyone. And in 1 month, 2 months, there are strategic decisions, committee decisions, board members, investors, etc. And the decisions may go in the opposite direction that were communicated. How can you keep consistency if you are a leader in an environment like this? Because, if you say, we don't know yet, it still sounds as it might go wrong.
Well, it might. It always might go wrong, but it might also go right. So instead of silence, because I think silence kills the trust, just be there. Even don't say that we don't know what we're doing. Of course, that's not the message that we want to set there, but just be there for them. Hey guys, we have a new, plan, a new strategy that we're working on. At the next all hands on deck, we will present you together what is the strategy. What will be your mission? what is changing, what is not changing, what is stable. What is important also to mention that maybe a lot of things are changing, but this will stay the same. So mention also what will remain the same. Because when we were hired, I negotiated a lot of benefits. I transferred all the tools that we were working, the reviews and everything. So it needed to be a time to adapt everything, people to understand, to calm down a bit and take it slowly, step by step.
Do you recommend any kind of mental health support program during periods like this? And if so, what kind?
Yes, absolutely. So I think employee assistance programs, maybe counseling, maybe some workshops about mental health, some tips and tricks on how to stay focused on what you can control in the end. And I think for Instapage, we were the first company in Romania that had unlimited psychotherapy during the pandemic. This is what we implemented. Of course, when we moved to AirSlate, it didn't stay the same, because when it's from 100 people to 1,000, you cannot give the same benefits, of course, but you need to be consistent. So we switched to 5 sessions of therapy per year. But it still remains something, and I'm really happy I got to negotiate this. But definitely these are important programs for the people.
Sometimes people, even during these hard times, they are afraid of stepping forward and raising their hand saying, I need mental support. Because, when you are identifying redundancies, the ones that look weak may be the first to go, you know what I mean, right? So how can HR, in your case, help assess the mental health climate during a merger? Like, do people still trust in HR during these periods?
Yes, thanks to God, yes, at least here in the culture that we created. I think it's not something that you do only once. It's regular check-ins with everyone. So the trust is built, it's not just like, oh, I trust you. And it's during some years or some time. And it's also like we had anonymous feedback before all hands on deck that we had. So everyone can. I don't know if all the time we had questions, but definitely they came to me. And I think the HR is important to be there, the person that they trust. And I can communicate to leadership some things that they don't know, maybe. So I think we're kind of a bridge between the employees and the leadership. And also it's pool survey, of course, you can do that. They know that it's anonymous, but also safe, and they can reply whatever, or they can bring feedback to what is happening.
What kind of tools did you use for those surveys?
So at Instapage, we had Lattice before, and I think it's really amazing. And at AirSlate, we had 𝘗𝘁𝘐𝑵.
Okay, so 𝘗𝘗𝘊𝘗𝑵 is...
HRS.
So it also includes surveys?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. In this experience you had, so what also happens to employee identity when the company is the one being absorbed by this bigger one? What did you feel on the behalf of everyone?
This is a hard one, You're happy that it happened for us, at least. But then, you felt your identity is kind of lost, because we were a startup, they were a corporate.
What happened to the pool?
It disappeared. We moved, to a more corporate building.
You had to get rid of the pool.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You didn't give me numbers, but the way it sounded is that Instapage was a small drop in the ocean, getting merged with a bigger company, AirSlate. How big was AirSlate?
1,000 employees.
1,000. So yeah, this was more than being absorbed, right? It sounds like a big fish just...
Yes, but I guess we still had a point there, and we started to fight for our culture in a way. So it still remained a few things. That's why I think I was in the middle. And I think that's important to have a person that is there for the people and also leadership. So we still maintained with a few things like flexible hours. We came also at their part, let's say. I implemented mental health days for them, for example. At Instapage, we had 12 mental health days per year. So 1 each month. And when I joined in AirSlate, I tried to negotiate to also adapt this in their company. And we had 1 per quarter. So we remained not with everything, but with something. And they also got from us.
Okay.
Yeah, they were big, but we were really operational speaking. We were really complex. We weren't totally absorbed, but of course, most of the policies of the tools and everything, we went to them. But we still had a lot of, or a bit of personality, let's say.
What happened to you specifically? Did you join like a broader HR team, the AirSlate HR team?
Yes, of course, of course. I joined their HR team. It was a bigger team. I had one smaller team. I had 2 people under my management.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like 10 HR people at AirSlate.
Your scope became broader, not just the Instapage people and issues, but also AirSlate broader HR issues, right?
Yeah, I still remained mostly for Instapage. Yeah, before I was Romania Instapage. And when the merge happened, I was Romania, Poland, and US because they didn't hire another HR for Poland. I mean, for Instapage. That's why I remained only for Instapage, but everywhere. Like,
if someone is listening to this episode and is passing through something similar to the story that you described, how can any individual protect their own mental health during a merger?
Yeah, I think because we had a lot of things like this in here with everyone and even with me, I think it's focus on what you can control, you know?
Okay.
Keep routine, lean on your trusted colleagues, friends, and ask support if you need it. It's really important to take care of yourself, first of all. You cannot motivate or you cannot be okay for others if you're not okay for yourself. So this is the first thing. And take mental health days. Do some, I don't know, some walking in the park. Do whatever you think it helps in the end.
Is it normal to start watching some internal competition episodes popping up during these periods to try to stand out from other people?
I think everyone will stand out with what they have. We have different skills and different capabilities. So just be yourself. Do your job that you know you're good at it. And maybe break big challenges into smaller steps, you know, so it doesn't feel overwhelming in this way. And don't feel guilty of prioritizing well-being, because sometimes we feel guilty that I take days off maybe, or that I have some time for me. So don't do that. Just put some limits, let's say.
How do you know that this new environment that you are now facing with mergers and potential layoffs, etc., how do you really know that this new company is really prone to mental health? How do you know that would not be seen as a weakness?
Well, you don't know. I
You don't
think
know.
that's the beauty. You don't know in the end if they will be, but you can come with your ideas and speak about it. And they had also problems about burnout, for example. A lot of people from their side, they complained about that. So also we started doing some workshops about mental health and well-being. We started, for example, last year searching for a new tool about well-being that we can maybe implement for everyone, because they saw that the problem is big, and if you don't care about mental health or well-being, it's going to affect in the end the company.
It will propagate.
Exactly.
So then what happens in overall in these kind of episodes, right? So there's the merge, there's the company that acquires, the one that is acquired. The communication is very positive, supportive, but later on, eventually, with high probability, there are layoffs, redundancies, etc. And you also passed through that, and you supported those layoffs. From what you've seen, what are the most common emotional or psychological effects of layoffs on employees? Both or all of them, right? The ones that go, the ones that stay.
There's a lot. Let's say it's shock, it's grief, maybe. It's often guilt of those who stay, and the loss maybe of the friends that they had, you know, because in the end, they are not only colleagues, we're staying more than 8 hours at work. So there's a connection, a bond in the end. And even the survivors, let's say.
Which are the ones that stay the company for people that are not aware.
Yes, exactly. They can feel uncertain, like they were, because we had a lot of layoffs even before the merge. We had 3 layoffs and one after the merge. People were afraid when every time like unexpected all hands on deck happened. They were like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Is again a layoff maybe? Yeah, there's always going to remain some kind of fear or anxiety, because this is like a post-trauma. You need time to heal. And once it happens so many times, the fear is still there. So I try to speak with the people, and just hide the moral down and tell them that just focus on what you can control. Do whatever you know that you're doing really well, really good, and you know the skills that you have. So in the end, new opportunities will come if this will happen. But try to set on what you can control in the end.
So basically what you are describing is the reality that once the layoff started, it wasn't sure if it was just one round or multiple. So people were not sure if they were being the ones involved in layoffs later on. Okay, so there was some anxiety about that. Will I be the next one? Is this properly describing the reality that you lived?
Exactly.
More or less, how many rounds of layoffs, if we could count it that way? Just for us to understand the context, Kati.
4 or 5 layoffs. Yeah, few. Yeah.
In total, how many people were laid off during those 4 or 5 rounds?
I never counted. It's
rough numbers, just first of an
I
idea.
don't know, because we were before at Instapage, we were only a few, so the number wasn't that big. But I guess the emotional impact, it's still big. So I think we had like 50 in total, maybe during. Yeah.
Which included also the AirSlate people, the ones that were originally from the company that acquired.
The layoffs were only for Instapage.
Oh, sorry, only for Instapage.
Yes, the AirSlate, they had another HR business that took for the AirSlate. They also had 2 or 3 layoffs in 2 years that we were acquired.
I'm just doing my mental math here. So it seems like you just said that the company had around 50 people in Instapage, and then after these 5 rounds of layoffs, around 50 people from Instapage were laid off. So basically, it sounds like everyone from Instapage was invited to go. Is this correct?
No, we were 50 in Romania, but globally, because Instapage was Romania, Poland, and US, we were like 120.
Okay. So yeah, so my math wasn't.
Let's say half of them.
So how did you advise AirSlate leaders to prepare to deliver layoffs?
So honestly, I will tell here another story. I've seen both worst and best attempts of layoff.
What's the worst? Tell us the worst.
Well, the worst was the first layoff at Instapage. It was horrible because the CEO actually waited until the end of our all hands on deck meeting. That was casually, like normal. And then at the end, he was like, some of you will receive an email after this that you're going to be let go. And like for 10 minutes, everyone was panic. Was a huge panic there, was silence. Everyone was scared. Am I going to be?
No warning. Were there like already some water cooler conversations about
nothing? Everything seemed perfect. We had like the normal all hands on deck, and then the last 10 minutes,
you get an email, you're going to be laid off.
Yeah, but we didn't knew like who, like from everyone, like
who, why?
Only, I don't know, 15 or 20 people. Let's say I don't remember the number. But this was like 20 people would receive an email, and after that, you're being let go. And everyone stayed like, oh my God, is it me? It's like 10 minutes. Should I receive an email? So after that, I did everything I could to soften up a bit the experience, me and the head of Romanian director, let's say here. So we had one-on-ones with each person. I gave them an email afterwards to everyone in a Romanian Slack channel that, hey, you're safe. Everyone that is here, it's okay. We are just like having the conversation with the people that are affected. And then I explained everything, sent some follow-up emails with severance, final payments, healthcare, whatever they needed to know. But the damage was there, it was how it was announced. We tried to make it better, but it was the worst experience ever, I could say.
How would you have done this? Or what's the best that you saw as well?
Now, contrast on the other side. Last year, we had some layoffs at AirSlate, and I told them the experience. We sat all together, the HR team, and discussed what would be the best method. And it was handled in a really more thoughtfully, let's say, in a more professional. We talked to leadership, then managers, They announced the managers, and after that, we had personal meetings with the affected person. Of course, there's always going to be a shock. You can never do like the best or like, I don't know, layoff. There is no right or wrong.
It's always a bad thing, right?
Exactly. In the end, it's a bad thing.
No one is expecting even the lowest performer, or at least they have that back of their head thought, no, I don't think it's going to be me. I don't think it's going to be me. So it's always a shock, as you say.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be there for the people after that, for the ones that left and for the ones that are still here with you. And give them emotional support. Even for us as HR, it's not easy. Like I had nightmares before I delivered the news. It's really a struggle there. But you need to be tough for your team in the end. You need to show them that you're strong and everything will be fine for the people that are staying there. So it's a lot of emotional going on, a roller coaster, let's say again.
So we know no one will like to hear that. You'll call a person to a room or to a video call and you're going to drop the bad news, etc. But what kind of practical support should or could an organization offer to employees being laid off? Things like outplacement services, therapy. George Clooney, you've seen him. I don't know if you saw the movie.
No, I don't think so, but I will watch.
You need to watch it. You know which movie am I mentioning? The one that George Clooney is from an outplacement company. So his job is to go to clients and do layoffs in a professional way, right? It's called On Air, if I'm not on air or on cloud. So
I think I saw it.
Yes.
It's the worst, I don't know, job possible that you could ever have. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the movie.
Sorry for bringing that because I thought it could be interesting.
No worries. Yes, but
what did you do? What did you offer?
It's horrible, but I think at AirSlate, what they did and what you can do as an HR and also as a good leadership, it's outplacement services, counseling, maybe access, maybe also career coach or I don't know, resume help, maybe show respect the people that left, give them a severance package if it's possible, take care of them, leave them a few benefits maybe that they need about health or something 1 month or private medical insurance for 1 month or 2 months extra until they have some different opportunities, let's say.
You were lucky your company was able to provide similar things?
Yes, we did. And also at Instapage, for example, as I mentioned, Marius Laza was an amazing CEO. He met with everyone after the meeting that we had, and he told them, I will send you some links with similar jobs that I know, with some networking that might help you. I will show you or let you know if you can also ask Katie if the resume is okay, if you need any help on that side. And we will help you with whatever we can.
Mm-hmm. Sounds very, very human.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the secret. Just be human and share with them the pain and the emotion that they have. Not just disappear after this is done.
What would you say if the person then asks you on a call like that? Okay, we are 1,000 people, why me? What is the human way to answer that question?
The human voice. I think what is beautiful, I still remain in touch with the people that I laid off. We're still friends. We're still like seeing each other. Friends, maybe it's a bit too much to say, but we're in touch. Every time they have something, Kati, can you help me with this? I need a reference. Can you check with me? And I'm always, not like in a minute, I'm there, but I'm there for them. I'm replying them, hey, let's meet. Do you need anything from my side? And I'm not working anymore at AirSlate, but as I mentioned, I'm still in touch with everyone, let's say from Instapage at least.
But why me, right? So many people, why I'm the one being laid off?
Yeah, why me? This is the question. It's not about the person. It's about the position usually. Is the position it's needed or is not needed anymore? Unfortunately, you as a person are affected by the position that is eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
It's never personal. It's not about the person. It's the position maybe that we don't need anymore. Or we have some position, for example, they had some positions at AirSlate. So they were doubled. So then we chose the best people with the best reviews, with the best skills, maybe, and knowledge. So we needed to choose.
In the interest of open communication, etc., that's something that needs to be clarified, because
yes,
definitely, there are two people doing your job, you and the other one. The other one is not going to be laid off. You are the one being laid off, and it's because we don't need two people, and the other one has better performance.
Yes, if this happens, yes. For us, this is one case. But for us at Instapage, before, it just the position were disabled, let's say. We didn't need so much customer success managers. From 10 customer success managers, we needed only 5, for example. So we just needed to let people go. But of course, it's based on their performance, based on what they did so far, how skilled they are, how involved they are. So yeah, it's more than just one thing.
Personally, I believe that the most human way for you to explain someone that you are the one being laid off and not your peers, it's performance, right? Because it's the only objective way that you say it had to be you. It's not because I like this one or more or less. It's not because that person is buttering me all day, etc. It's because of performance, because then you can show, you see, last 5 years, this is your performance, which everyone believes it was correctly measured, right? And in the same period, this is the performance of the other person that stays, right? See the difference? So if everyone agrees on the process, it's the most human way to do that, right?
Definitely. It's about performance, metrics, objectives that they met or not. We had set KPIs. So definitely there's a lot you can count on based on metrics, and to be as objective as you can, not on biases or, like, as you said, hey, I liked you because we are neighbors, or I don't know what. So definitely that's not the case.
We share rights.
We share, the same.
I need the other guy to stay because I carpool. That's it.
No, it never happened like this. And it was tough, because with some people, maybe I really had some great connections, but this will still remain. This is what I told you. And I think professionally, this is what matters in the end, to be objective.
What mistakes do you see leaders or HR people make during or handling layoffs?
In general, leaders just disappeared after a layoff. They just leave the managers to do the work. And I think it comes from up, I think they set the tone, even from the VP of the CEO, actually, not the VP, because it's from the top. So they can do a statement, they can come to a meeting, not for 1,000 people, of course, but every, head of site, let's say, or head of, as we had in AirSlate, we had Instapage, SignDoc, and many more companies inside. So I think, like, the leaders, it needs to start from top, to be there, to be present, to say what happened, to show emotional then that you are available. Hey, if you want to have a call with me to explain you what happened, we can do that. We can have a meeting only with the Romanian office, with the Polish one. We can have all together one.
Who should be in the layoff meeting or call? Who should be there besides the person being informed?
Well, of course, the HR, the manager.
Okay.
And this is what I mentioned, that sometimes this is what I loved, or appreciated at Marius Laza when he was in the Romanian office. He was there in each meeting, and he was the head of Romanian office, but he was there with the managers together, and all the time, even during the final interviews, he was always there. He knew everyone. And I think this is important. He was really, connected. He was there. He knew his people. He knew the mission. He knew the strategy. And he explained that to everyone. And I think this is important.
Sounds like you did this like for 50 times, as you mentioned, because of all the people being laid off. For someone that don't have this experience and they got to this video because they are trying to understand the best way to do that, how would you structure a layoff conversation, regardless if it's in person or on a call, right? So you mentioned HR being there, manager at least, right? How in simple terms, right? What would be the structure of a conversation like this?
Well, usually the manager, he will tell what happened. And me as an HR, I'm there for the support if they need anything. And I will come with, as I mentioned, all the details after this happens. Like severance package, benefits that will remain, paycheck, when it's going to happen. If you have any other questions that I might help afterwards, if, I don't know, as I said, for the resume, if you need any help, for the networking, if I can share your experience. But usually this is how it happened. And if the leader is there, like the VP or I don't know, the head of department, they will probably start, then the manager, and then the HR is there. And the HR is also there to check that everything is going how it should be. It's not always happening how it should be. Yeah. Latest it was like online, but before in the office it was even worse because the emotion are higher. You can feel it's horrible. Online it's better, but it's never the best, I would say. We had a person that left from the meeting, for example. He was like, I cannot stand this and sorry. And he left. And then he called me after one day. I checked with my therapist. I'm okay. Kati, let's meet together at the office.
Is it normal in this kind of situation to give people space and time to speak as well?
Of course.
What kind of things do people say in a conversation like this? So the conversation like this is, A, thank you for your contribution, but for this and that reason, we are letting you go, right? So what kind of things people say after hearing this?
Well, that's a good scenario. Scenario would be, thank you for everything. I'm really sorry to hear this. And the worst one is when he's in shock, he starts like, no, it's not possible. No, not me. Why? They start arguing with us, or they're really mad and upset. They have the shock, like, what do you mean? I'm laid off. I'm let go. It cannot be possible. So you just need to calm them down maybe and check listen to them, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And then just go with the normal flow, I guess, and tell them, yes, this is why it happened. Why it's you. Here are I don't know, everything that shows why it is like this. I'm really sorry about it. And just be honest with them. I really appreciate it. I have an example with my HR director when we let go someone from my team. And she was really open. I think this is important to be really open. Why it's happening, how we're going to help you. We're not leaving you after this. We're going to give you like 3 months severance package, or I don't know how many months we negotiated for you. You can still have these benefits. You can come to me after that. We can discuss. If you want to take a break right now, we can do that. So just be genuine. I think this is the normal. It's never easy. It's always hard. And I'm really thankful that I had some people that they were really calm and Kati, thank you for everything. I know that in the end, this is not your decision, my decision on manager. This comes from a lot above. So thank you for giving me this message, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for trying to have a severance package or thinking about me after the layoff.
From your experience, like in 1 to 10, in 10 people, how many people fight back in a conversation like that?
I think 3.
3 in 10 back.
3 from 10, yeah. Yeah.
My personal experience is around 1 in 10. 1 in 10, yes. Okay. The majority of situations like this where I was present as an HR as well is people just accept. People just accept. And they just want for the conversation to end quickly, move away, don't say anything. But at least 1 in 10 will fight back. And when they fight hard. They fight hard. They argue back. They have justifications, argumentations against the reasons why being terminated. So that's why I always prepared managers before the conversations to prepare for the fight. Eventually, there's a 10% probability, in my opinion, that the fight will occur. So be prepared for that. Okay. Because if you're not prepared, then the manager will be completely overrun with arguments.
Well enough.
Whatever, right? It's, you're saying that, but I have 10 emails here proving otherwise, and I can send everyone in the company. etc. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, definitely managers need to be prepared. And that's why it's important for them to know in advance.
Well, sometimes managers think that the HR is the one that is going to manage everything on a call.
Well, that's why you set the expectations before.
Right. I totally agree with you. Managers are the ones that need to be telling the reason why a person is being laid off. It's not the HR, right? And we don't know, right? And especially we don't know because if the person answers back with valid argumentations, who are HR to be able to handle that conversation if the performance, technically the person was good or not, if the performance was as bad or as good as being said on the call, we don't know. So it needs to be the manager that is prepared and has the courage for handling a conversation like that, right? Because could be preparation, could be lack of courage, could be manager doesn't have the psychological profile to handle conflict. But a manager needs to be doing those things as well.
Definitely. Thank you for telling this. And definitely, yes, I think this is a different story or a topic that is really important. How you prepare the managers, how you mature the managers, because we were lucky. We had really great experienced managers at Instapage. But for example, at AirSlate, they were dealing with this problem. They weren't mature enough to handle a few things or experienced enough, or I don't know. So it's important to be not only manager, but a good leader and to be prepared for also the hard stuff like this, like layoffs.
I believe you also start being a good leader way before, which is not letting performance levels of your people go to the certain threshold, minimum threshold that would trigger a layoff. Not laid off or just being terminated, right? If you're a good leader, you should try to, before that, try to avoid that, because then if it goes to a certain level, someone will tell, hey, this person needs to be terminated. Are you aware of his performance, right? I have had managers, Kati, that were the ones leaving the call, not the person being fired. Managers like, hey, I just want to let you go that we are going to terminate you, and here's the HR to explain the next steps. Drop the call.
I also had that experience. No worries. It felt horrible, but they felt more closer to me, let's say, on that side. But the manager definitely is not a good example if he's doing something. It's really bad. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I done my part. I'm leaving. Bye.
My part, or happy to meet you. Unfortunately, you have to go, but don't worry. Here is HR to take care of everything. Bye bye.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario.
Kati, thank you as well for all the things that you've shared from your experience and the tips for future contexts like this that anyone could be living and passing through. Beyond layoffs, beyond mergers, right? What are the 3 top tools that you cannot stop using? HR tools, right? Don't bring me Excel or ChatGPT. HR tools. You mentioned a couple of names, but if you could give 3 different ones.
Yeah, I really loved Workable for recruiting.
Workable, okay, ATS.
Workable, yeah, it's amazing. It's easy to use. It's perfect. I worked also with Greenhouse and Lever, but Workable is the most user friendly, both for recruiters and managers. So this is one of them. Lattice, I really enjoyed Lattice. We worked a lot of years with Lattice, and they grew a lot. They had also a lot of integrations with Slack or other communication channels that you can use. We had our recognition program we had in Lattice, and it's really easy and amazing to use, and it's a great tool for that. And last, I think Notion. We were also working
knowledge base for knowledge base.
Yes, Notion for policies.
Why Notion specifically? Because I'm hearing about Notion a lot. So you had Confluence, Google Docs. I said, why Notion?
I think it's again, as you mentioned, it's user friendly. It can work really easily for both employees to understand. You can split it in how many sections you want, or have visibility for people to give. It depends on what you need. So yeah, I think the easy to use probably. And it also integrates AI, and yeah, as almost all of them now.
Speaking about AI and future, so what trends do you see shaping the future of work, and how should companies prepare for them?
Well, AI, it's really powerful, but I think we need to learn how to use it for our advantage. So we should start learning more about AI and using it more in HR as well, because it can help a lot. You can have an HR assistant, for example, that instead of every people coming to you and asking you little questions, not the small one, little ones, how to access, where is my private medical insurance? How can I bookster? I don't know. It can just reply for you. And you can have more time to stay with the people on one-on-ones and get more of the important, let's say, topics, or knowing the person in another way than just replying to different small things, So I think it can help the connection for HR with the employees.
What are the 3 skills that every HR professional should develop right now?
I think it's really important to be balanced as an HR. I don't know if this is a skill, but you need to learn how to balance and to get the objective things of what is most important, because you're going to be the bridge, as I mentioned, between leadership and employees. So you need to be objective. And this is one thing, to learn to maintain this balance. One is communication, and listening actively to the person that you're speaking with. The rest, you can learn everything and just be human. First of all, we're all humans. So don't forget this. It's not about the tools. It's not about the policies. It's about understanding people. This is what is HR, and AI can never do this.
Someone is watching this video and is just starting a career in HR. What advice would you give to that person? What helped me is actually being present, listen more than you speak, listen actively, and show empathy. Sometimes this is more important than anything else. We are almost at the end, and there are always already. Yeah, time flies. I normally ask the guest if he could recommend me one person that would have an interesting story, an interesting profile to be a next guest in this show. Who would you recommend me? I would recommend 𝘗𝘗𝘺𝘮𝘊𝑖𝑛. She's one of the HRs that I worked shortly at Instapage, but she's really amazing and she has interesting stories and a lot of experience. And Imran Saeed, he was the previous CEO of Instapage. Challenge accepted. The last thing that I challenge my guests, especially when they have a generalistic profile, which also is yours in HR, I bring at the same time 2 HR topics, and I ask you which of these is the most important. Then I drop the one that you don't choose, and I bring another one. And you keep comparing topics, and then in theory, in the end, we will have the HR topic that is the most important for you. Okay? Let's see how it goes. Kati. Let's see. Let's start the game. Let's see. So we start with talent acquisition versus training and development. Both of them. Can I choose both? Prepare yourself. All of them will be very important at the same level, but still you'll need to choose one. Talent acquisition. Talent acquisition, okay. Talent acquisition and compensation and benefits. This is hard. Everything is important in HR. No. Talent acquisition. Between talent acquisition and performance management. Performance management. Okay. Performance management versus employee relations. Performance management. Performance management and workforce planning and HR analytics. Performance management. Performance management versus diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh, this is tough. I think they complete each other. I cannot choose between them. But usually performance management, and why would I go with this, is because why do people leave? Because of bad management. Right. This is the first thing why people leave. They can negotiate something else, but yeah. So you stay with performance management, if I heard correctly. Yes. Okay. Then performance management versus HR technology and systems.
Performance management.
The last one, performance management versus engagement and retention.
I still would go with performance management because I can do engagement, but if the managers cannot know how to hold and how to implement this, they will still lose people.
Okay.
How can they engage if they don't have the basic or the knowledge or the leadership? They cannot.
Beautiful words. So today we had Kati Ciocan, performance management above all in HR. Thank you for being in the show. And for everyone that is interested in connecting with Kati to deep dive on any of these topics or other things, I'll left the links in the video description for you to connect and see where the conversation takes you and Kati. Thank you, Kati.
Thank you, Ricardo. This was a blast. I loved it. Oh, we can find another topic next time.
For sure. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.